Hello friends, welcome to this episode of 01200 Podcast. The topic we are going to discuss for today is shrinkflation. So what is shrinkflation? For example, in a news article by Channel News Asia recently by CNA Insider, 12 March 2022, it mentioned less Coca-Cola in the can. It's not your imagination, it's shrinkflation. So what is shrinkflation?
Oh, I just heard from Henry that because I'm not a Coke drinker, so I'm not the best person to share about shrinkflation.
Daniel share.
Sure, why not? Okay, I think shrinkflation is a term that was coined recently, but I actually experienced this more than 10 years ago. If you remember in KFC, they sell the Kerner burger and the Zinger burger. Kerner burger is a small one.
Okay.
The Zinger burger is the bigger one, the chicken patty, the big one.
Oh.
So over the years, right, I realized that the last time Kerner burger is cheaper than the Zinger burger because of the size. But I realized the Kerner burger now, or the Zinger burger now, is actually the size of the Kerner burger at the same price.
Okay.
So Zinger burger actually reduced in size already.
Oh.
But they sell at the price of still a Zinger burger at a smaller burger.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah, just like the Coke of can, I just realized actually that in the past is 330 ml,
Yep.
and today is only 325 ml,
25.
but selling at the same price. Yeah.
That's right. Interesting, because normally when we talk about inflation, right, then we may complain about, oh, things is getting more and more expensive. Then maybe you'll be thinking, see, McDonald's never really increased in price, what? See, the Coke never really increased in price, what? But then nothing comes free. So this so-called may not increase in price, it's probably going to reduce in quantity somewhere in one way or another.
Yeah.
Right. In fact, when I was reading a poll, it actually mentions that 80% of those who were polled, they actually prefer to increase the price rather than getting less for the same price that they are paying. But I guess shrinkflation still need to happen for those who are extremely cost sensitive.
Okay.
Yeah. That the once you increase maybe even that 10 cent, 20 cent, they are not going to support that brand anymore. And that's why some brands, they prefer to shrink the amount of quantity rather than to increase the price.
That's right.
Yeah.
And just now, Xiaoqing mentioned about the Coke, right? You know, last time the Coke can was a slightly fatter can.
Fatter and rounder.
Fatter and rounder, 330. Then a few years ago, I was thinking, nicer packaging or slimmer, and then looks more modern. But then look at the ml. Like 5 ml. 325 ml or 320 ml. Now I'm thinking in my head, wow, 5 ml per can, millions of can. There's going to be a lot of ml saved, in terms of cost.
Yeah.
But of course, from a consumer point of view, you don't really feel the difference, right? Because you can't really calculate your taste by is it 5 ml difference or not. But in reality, that is what is happening.
Yeah. And I read an article that Doritos actually reduced the number of chips in their potato chips bag also. They reduced, but then they maintain the same price.
I see.
In order to fight inflation.
Okay.
Yes.
So I guess it really got to do with the consumables, the food, the snacks, the Coke. That is, in a way, it doesn't feel like a lot of pinch. Like if you don't share with me today, I wouldn't know that Coke is now in a reduced packaging.
Yep.
Yeah.
That's right.
Yeah.
Coke is reduced packaging in a nicer packaging, so that it seems
You
like
can
you like
hide,
the newer packaging, right? You don't really think about the shrinking in 5 ml or 10 ml.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the thing is, people will still buy because the price still looks the same.
Yeah.
So that's really about psychology. When you feel that it's still the same price, it's still the same Coke bottle, in fact, I probably wouldn't have realized it.
That's true. That's very interesting because now something that came into my mind suddenly. If we talk about Coke and then we talk about the basic necessities like vegetables and meat, right? I mean, for a consumer, let's say potato chips or even Coke, I can eat slightly lesser, but it don't really affect me, right? But if you talk about vegetables or meat, right? If I eat lesser, I'm gonna go hungry. So that one, no choice, you could see price increase.
Yeah.
So the necessity, you feel the pinch. But then the lifestyle items like all these, right, you don't really feel the pinch because in the first place, maybe you don't even need that much.
Yep.
Yeah.
It's true.
So how is this shrinkflation gonna affect us? I mean, financially, what do you think?
I think shrinkflation is just another form of inflation. It's just that, the number of potato chips is lesser, you pay the same. Actually, you think of it in mathematics, right?
Yeah.
You still pay more. Because for the amount of so-called food that you're eating or chips that you're eating or Coke that you're drinking, you actually pay the same price.
Yes.
But you have it lesser. So it's still an inflationary problem that we're facing.
Exactly.
So shrinkflation is just, I think it's just another term.
Yeah. Exactly. the cost per chip becomes higher.
Yes,
right?
cost
In the
per
same
chip.
packaging, cost
If
per
there's a
chip,
thing
right?
called cost per chip. Maybe we should now do a potato chip. We pour everything out, count number of chips. Then 10 years later in our podcast, we pour out the potato chip again, and we count the number of chips.
Yeah.
Then we know the cost per chip.
Okay.
So we can go back to this episode 10 years later.
Correct. And prove that we are right.
Maybe one day we should do that. Well, then potato chip company quite smart lah. They preempted in the past already because in the first place half of the packet is air ma.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Now more air lah.
Now
Yeah.
maybe 3/4 lah. So that's why they say you can go and jia hong during inflation.
Oh my dear. That's a good one. 哦，太好了，我们的鸟王回来了。Oh my god, it's been some time. Where have you been? 哦，这个有灵。So, talking about shrinkflation, then, so in this case, when we talk about shrinkflation in terms of marketing and packaging, I think maybe because we don't feel much pinch from the marketing, right?
It's true. It's like actually any normal consumer, they won't really feel the pinch because it goes past your subconscious mind. Because usually we are more sensitive about the price that we are paying. We don't really care what's inside. And all these like 5 ml, few grams of potato chips that's lighter, very often it get actually missed by a lot of people for consumer like me. And when just now Henry asked about how does this impact finances, right? I guess for us as financial planner, the way that we want to train or groom our clients is that we don't want them to go into the shrinking mode. So we don't really blow up this matter called shrinkflation. But what matter more to us is about growing more, planning for more, so that you can really take care of all these real things that's happening in the world. So instead of asking them to spend less on this and that, we prefer that they actually increase their income so that they can really blossom into achieving their goals at the end of the day.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So I think what people are worrying for is not really about. Okay, it seems that we are complaining about rising costs, right? But the real worry is not about the rising costs, but the real worry is about my lifestyle that's increasing in cost. I cannot afford that lifestyle anymore.
Correct.
Right. So if technically my income or my assets continue to grow, for me to be able to afford that lifestyle, seriously, I don't really care. I may not really be caring about inflation or complain about rising costs for that matter. Because I still can afford that lifestyle.
Correct.
Yeah. So the key to planning is still to be able to continue to increase this income and assets so that we can continue to afford that kind of lifestyle that we really, desire.
Yeah, exactly. Even as petrol price increases, I think the man on the street is impacted. But then those who are very wealthy, probably they don't think that is any of a big increase to them also, because there's so much wealth for them. So it's a small issue for them.
Yeah. Whether it's inflation or shrinkflation, I think it affects the man on the street. So our aim here is really to get our clients to be living above the man on the street, to be able to take care of all these needs at the end of the day.
Okay.
Yeah, but talking about petrol price, I don't know whether Xiao Qing felt the impact about it. Recently, I went to pump petrol, right? Half a tank, usually I pump about $120, $130.
Half a tank.
Half a tank.
Oh.
Recently, when I went to pump, when it's about $3.70 per liter, right? My half a tank was $186. And the other time when I went to pump, nearly full tank was about $300.
Wow.
And then when I was having a conversation with the lady, the cashier, she say, first time I see $300 bill leh. Last time only less than 300, 200 plus a lot already.
This is after all the
First
discount,
time
right?
after, no, 300 is before the discount. So after discount it was about 250, 260.
Oh
if I'm
my
not
God.
wrong.
Yeah,
Yeah.
quite impressive. You let her witness history. History, the baby.
Not bad, right? Yeah, so I think inflation is a very real thing, especially when this kind of incidents we have Russia versus Ukraine. It's something that you can't really control.
That's right.
And we really become the victims of inflation.
Yeah. And then going back to shrinkflation, right? I think a lot of people will ignore this 5 ml, this weightage of potato chips, and that's why they feel that actually it doesn't affect me. But the fact is, with this 5 ml, and you really compound that, right? Actually, it can sustain to quite a lot of money, and that's how our lifestyle can really be impacted, or we call it the silent thief in the house that is silently eating our money away.
Yeah. Like financial termite lah, inflation. Financial termite. Yeah.
Oh, that's a very good.
Keep on gnawing on your wood, decaying the wood, but you still don't know until the whole building collapses. Then you find out.
That's a very good term, interesting term.
Yeah.
Financial termite.
And the interesting thing is we never do our pest control well. We continue to let this termite manifest,
That's right.
grow, and slowly biting your money away.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that one is in this case you don't even know that the termite exists anymore.
Correct.
Correct.
One
Correct.
day it just collapse.
Correct. So if I'm the money, I'll be screaming for help. Like, help me, Daniel! Stop letting the termite bite into me.
Save me, save me.
Save me, help!
Yeah, you really need to save the money, right?
Yeah, if you don't save the money, what will
Literally
happen?
save the money. That's
Literally
the
save the money.
Right, cool. So, with regards to whether is this shrinkflation or inflation, right? I think end of the day is to get a proper financial planner to do your planning for you. One that can help you to continue to build wealth so
Yep.
that you can maintain your lifestyle.
Yep.
Right. Of course, if there's anything that we can help you, feel free to contact us, right, for any financial planning matters. And of course, most importantly, for our YouTube channel, don't forget to like, subscribe, and share with your friends if you feel that it will benefit them as well.
Yeah.
Right.
And one last word, remember if you are going to find a financial planner, find one not just who is here to shrink your spending habits, but someone who's here to grow your ability to spend as well. Yeah. Who is more into wealth building rather than just deducting or reducing your expenses.
That's right.
And we look forward to growing with you together in this partnership.
Yes, let's do that together. So thank you very much, and thank you for both of your sharing.
Thank you.
Wish you all have a good day and a wonderful year ahead.
Thank you.
Thank you.